she's taking on water. The garage is flooding. No, go away. No, 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 stop. No. Oh, this is not gonna end well. Welcome to this glorious wet weather warrior day, guys. Today we are going to be working on the 180SX you can see behind me. Now this is my favorite all-time car. This 180 is my pride and joy. It is everything to me. I love this car and it is my favorite out of all 8 of the cars I have. Today what I am going to be attempting to do is, today and for the rest of, I don't know, however long it takes me, I'm going to do a vlog series on building a custom wide body for this car in particular. So the plan so far with this, it's pretty loose actually. I will show you the pictures that I've drawn in a minute. They're pretty horrible, but it gives me a basic idea of what I want to do and how I want to work with it. What I'd like to do with this car is create something a bit cyberpunk-ish slash retro slash Mad Max, just crazy, insane, supercar looking oriented drift car. So and I'm going to use it on the street. So it is a street car. This car has always been and always will be a street car with a side of drift. So I have to make it within certain parameters to keep it legal to a degree. So what I don't want to do is hack up my fenders or my rear quarters. I want to keep the car and the body of the car intact and as OEM as I can underneath what I'm building. That way if I ever decide to change it or I get bored of it, I can go back to the drawing board and do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is pull the car right down and then create something else. But I want to make it mine and make it really cool. So I also want to add a bit more of the retro 80s, 90s kind of flair to it and add a bit of neons. I keep saying neons, I'm sorry. Add a bit of LEDs to the car so it's also really visually appealing and can be used for a whole bunch of things in future, not just drifting or demos or, you know, show and shine style stuff. But I really want to enjoy the car and get the most out of it. I just want to create something really, really cool and I want to share it with others and anyone else that's interested in building something like this for themselves and show that it's possible and how I went about it and the steps that I took to get to where it's going to end up. So if you've ever had any inclination to do something like this to your car, hit that subscribe button because there'll be several vlogs for this car over the next coming months, however long it's going to take me. It has a lot of work coming up, so not only do I need to hand build and carve out the wide body myself and learn at the same time and hopefully teach you guys as well, but I also need to get it down to smash repairs, get the front end straightened up, and then get it to paint and panel as well, which I will also be a part of. So everything that's going to go underway with this car will be vlogged and it will be on my channel here, so you can check it all out and you can watch it. And if you need any tips or if you need any advice or any of that kind of thing, you'll probably be able to find all of this throughout the vlog somewhere. So not only am I building just the wide body for the car, I also want to build a custom rear hatch. I want to build custom LED tail lights. I want to do custom interior, so I want to make my own kind of style retro dash. A whole bunch of other stuff coming up with this car. So if you like DIY and you like the idea of making your own things for your cars, keep watching. So I should give a disclaimer right now. I don't have a clue what I'm doing when it comes to this. I have never done fiberglassing. I've never done body molding. I haven't really had anything to do with metalwork in regards to welding myself and shaping my own metal and that kind of thing. So I went with fiberglass because for me as a beginner, it's easier for me to learn that and to kind of do that myself, and I don't need a hectic setup. I don't need, I can't remember what the wheel's called. It's like it's a metal wheel that bends metal. This is like an old school, all you metal guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. Can you leave it in the comments for me, please? Thank you. But yeah, I don't have anything. I don't have hammers. As you can see, the workshop is not really equipped to be able to do all the metal fabrication and that kind of bodywork. So I'm just going to work with what I have and what I can do and what I can learn and go at it with some fiberglass and some expander foam and see how it turns out. I spoke to a fiberglasser that builds big race boats, and I also have a friend that builds custom fiberglass parts for cars, Pajeros, and all kind of cars. But his day job is also building luxury boats and crazy rich people boats down on the Gold Coast. So they're both really switched on with fiberglass, and that is their trade. and they've both been super helpful in giving me a lot of information and some good tips and some advice when it comes to doing this job and building this car. But without further ado, I'll show you some of the bits and pieces that I've got currently and roughly how much they cost, just to give you a ballpark of what you might need if you want to start a job like this. So the first thing I needed to figure out was what I was going to put on the car. Now a lot of the time, especially with the Japanese custom modification videos that you see on YouTube, they use expander foam and foam that comes in a can, and what it's actually used for usually is like house insulation or plumbing, or you know, watertighting areas on houses and walls and infrastructure, not necessarily for car parts. So I did speak to my friends about this and I asked them, what should I use? Should I use expander foam? And they're like, no, it's a bit rigid. Also for the width, if you're doing a wide body, the expander foam won't hold too well onto the body. It'll just run down the body of the car unless I can flip the car full sideways. They recommended me to get sheets of expander foam, which is already pre-expanded and it's ready to go, it's ready to cut. And it's also a lot easier to work with because it's so it's soft, it's not concrete, it doesn't set like concrete, and it's a lot easier and quicker to work with, but it is a lot messier, so keep that in mind. So I went down to the fiberglasses and I asked them what I needed, and I had a look around and they recommended this. So this is expander foam. Now, but this is sheets of expander foam, so it's the same stuff, only it's kind of like the stuff that you stick flowers in a florist, where they stick like fake flowers in that foam. So I've bought the 100mm because I'm creating quite a wide body on the car and I want as much expander foam as I can to work with to shape out what I'm doing. And it makes it easier for me to stack this on itself if I need to, rather than grabbing 4 or 5 sheets of this and stacking and stacking and stacking. And like I said, it makes a lot of mess. So you can see, sorry, you can't see actually, but when it breaks up, even rubbing it with my hands, I could sand it down with my finger at the moment, it's that soft. But it's durable and hard enough that you can shape a body kit for it, so that's great. So that is my, let's call it a base layer. So my base layer of what I need to do is, that is going to be molded onto the car. Now what else I needed to do was I need to find a way to make that, apologies for the rain guys, it is very wet out there, but the rain is not going to stop me from playing with my car, so apparently it will. Well, it won't stop me from playing with my car, so it's going to stop me from vlogging for a second. Whoa! She's taking on water! Uh-oh. Oh god, it's a puddle! Whoa! Wow! Oh, my toes gonna get wet. Jesus! Holy crap! Holy crap! Oh! No way! Oh man! I hope it doesn't go down to my work area. Jesus! Whew. Well, at least some of that's safe. Oh god, it is going down. No! No! Holy crap, I can't believe how far that's gone into the garage. Thank Christ we got all the motors on tyres. stops like just on that line. Fingers crossed. You shall not pass. We might be okay here. Maybe. Potentially. Hopefully. It's not looking good. We got some serious water coming in. Oh no! We have a breach! Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Well, it seems like this is going to be a problem, because that's where I need to work. Stop, water, stop! Well, this is kind of an iconic moment for me. The Type X tails, the LED tails that I built for the 180SX 4 years ago, something like that. They are finally retired. They are no longer on the car and probably won't ever go anywhere. I'll probably just leave them in the garage somewhere. But the tails are off. And the wing, so the 326 power wing, currently sitting on the little MX. The car looks really, really weird. I've never really seen my car like this. I designed these and got them built, and what they were XXX LED tails with an RGB halo, so the halo would change colors, a bunch of different stuff like that. Really cool little additions, what these little boxes here are for, to control the LEDs, and then same with these ones here. So these are like the Audi running indicators and also reverse lights, but they had indicators on both of them for a while. And then these guys, they were just for show, they didn't really do anything. Originally you meant to put reverse lights in there, but I was using these for my reverses, so that was just a display. Yeah, this is really weird seeing the car with nothing on the back of it. So you can see on this one, I'll just grab a light. When we originally done the wide body on this, we've sealed up the arches. They're two-piece and they become like a skin. So they're all sealed up now. Whereas if you look at, we'll have a look at the S13 if I don't have to walk through a big puddle. The S13 has not had that treatment and is just had its rear over fenders hacked up. God, it's a mission to get to. So my garage is slowly unflooding itself, which is nice, but I still have big puddles. Oh crap, I've now got to get in there. Okay, oh god, this is a mission. Hope you guys appreciate this one. So that's what happens when you just grind off your rear fenders on your S chassis. You can see the two different skins on, so the far right hand skin and the middle skin, they are the originals. So you've got the wheel tub and then you've got the rear body, and then the outside you've got the fender. You can see that's not optimal, so I had mine done at a panel shop properly, and they done a really, really good job of sealing it off from the weather and making sure that I'm not going to have any rust problems or any dramas in future. Now I may or may not have time skipped due to the big storm and all the weather that came in. We were midway through talking through what materials and what equipment and bits and pieces I bought to start this job. Now I will come show you. So I went to a bunch of places to get some materials for the job. I went to Bunnings, I went to a couple of fiberglass shops, and I went to Super Cheap Auto to grab what I needed. So the first couple of things I needed to do was sort out the fiberglass and the resins and the catalysts and what I needed to actually make my mold and to do the job. So we'll start off with the fiberglass and stuff I picked up. The first thing I got was nothing there. The first things that I got were these ice cream buckets and a bunch of little accessories here from the fiberglasser. If I can get my ice cream container loose. So the first things he gave me were a bunch of buckets to mix all my putty and my catalysts and my resins in. So this here is just a big bottle of cleaning agent for the brushes and for anything that I might get a residual resin on or anything like that. This here is my big tub of fiberglass resin. So this is what I'll be using to make the part out of. This is the bottle of catalyst that goes with the resin. So those three there. I also got a big roll of fiberglass that you can see up here. The second thing he gave me was a bunch of brushes. He told me that these are one-use brushes only, and the easiest way is to get them off him because Bunnings doesn't sell this particular one. because a lot of the fiberglasses have problem with the resin breaking down the paint on the paintbrush handles, and then it ruins the job or it goes everywhere. So these are apparently disposable. They cost like 75 cents. Containers, I think they cost me maybe $4 for all of those. The resin and the acetone and the catalyst was 180, 180, 200, probably, or sorry, I have to check this later, somewhere around maybe the $60 to $100 mark, maybe, for all of that. The other things he gave me were a couple of syringes. So the syringes here are to measure how much catalyst I put into my resin, and he told me to mix up about 300 to 400 mils of resin per time, as it takes around 10 minutes before it'll set. So I need 1.5 milligrams of catalyst to every, I think it's 100? 1.5 to, yep, every 100 grams of resin to make this. He also gave me a measuring cup to be able to measure my catalysts and my resins. And he also gave me this little fiberglass rolling dude. I don't know its name, but I know that it gets the air bubbles out of the fiberglass. So that's most of the materials that I got from the fiberglassing guys to make my plugs and my molds, as well as obviously the expander foam that we were talking about just before it started raining. And then the next place I went to Bunnings to try and find some tools, like some plane sanders, some cutting devices, some cutting blades, sorry, and some bags of rags and that kind of thing. So this is what I went and got from Bunnings. But I bought 3 hammers and some spray paint and a bunch of cardboard boxes that you can see lying around me, because I then built this on the car so I could have a rough idea of what I wanted to do with the car, how wide I wanted to go, what it could potentially look like if I went down this route, and how it would sit on the car. So I was looking at like some of the hacksaw blades that run through air compressors, and they're all like electronic, but I wanted to do this all by hand and all slowly and learn as I go. So I bought the hand saw to be able to cut the expander foam without damaging it, because the saw, as you can see up here, doesn't have any lip on here, so it should cut nice and smooth through it, and I won't have any dramas with disfiguring the expander foam. And the other little things I got from Bunnings, I bought some scrapers and some mixing tools to mix the resins and the putties. They're just plastic. They cost me like, I think, 30 cents each. The saw was $18, and yeah, so they were just to mix my stuff. I was looking for disposable paddle pop sticks, but for some reason they didn't have them. Bunnings didn't actually have the hand planes that we used to use in a woodwork class that was under $150. So I just needed like a $20 piece of wood with a handle and a blade on it, but they didn't have anything, so that's again why I went for the hand saw. And last but not least, I went down to Super Cheap Auto to buy some PPE, so some protective personal equipment. So I've got my goggles, a ruler to measure my guards or any straight kind of surfaces, tape measure so I can measure any rounded surfaces or any specific things I need that the ruler can't do. A bunch of little cutting and shaping devices. Cutting and shaping devices. I bought some Stanley knives in different shapes and sizes. I think they all cost like $4 for all 4 of them. That was like $5, that was like $10. Bought some scissors so I could cut up the fiberglass when I need to make the skin. And I also bought some scalpels for any kind of more intricate designs or anything intricate that I need to cut out into the expander foam. Some gloves. I bought these to see how they go, but if they get annoying, I did also buy the latex gloves to use them instead, depending on how it goes working with fiberglass. I don't know. I know that fiberglass gets really itchy, so we'll see how it goes. I might even need different gloves. I'm not sure yet. I bought myself some tape. So if I need any tape for fixing or attaching things, I needed a ton of masking tape, as you can see here, to mask up the panels. So when I lay down my mold, it's not going to damage the paint on the car. I didn't really have to worry about that because I'm painting the car anyway, but I just wanted to see how it works as a process, and if in future I want to make smaller parts that I am not painting the surface on, I want to know and be confident that masking up the car and my process and how I'm going to do this is going to protect the paint underneath. I bought some masks. So the masks are for working with the expander foam, because the expander foam will break up into like a kind of a dust. I bought myself some sanding paper as well as some bog. So just some car filler bog. This stuff just from Super Cheap. I think it cost me like $25. And a little sanding block and a really big sanding block. Last but not least, I bought some scrapers. They are just $2 or something from Super Cheap again, and they're just to apply the bog and let the bog dry and then sand the bog down from there. So I'm probably going to need a whole bunch of other stuff in the future, but for now I'm going to start out with everything I've just shown you guys, and we'll see how we go from there. If I do need anything else throughout the vlogs making this wide body, I'll do exactly what we've done just now. I'll go through all the products and the parts and the equipment that I'm using, where I got it from, how much it was, and what I'm using it for.